All right, we got a no heat call. No heat or cool, as a matter of fact, but it was heating that they found out last night they didn't have, and we have not been to this house. So let's go take a look. Okay, so the homeowner had been able to give me enough information to understand the indoor blower is not working. Take a shot of the sticker there so I know what's out here if I ever need to refer to that. And no light. All right, let's go over there and take a look. Okay, got a train furnace. Looks like we've had water in here because all the red mud washed up on the plastic, so gets all dirty crawling. But I tell you, I'd rather have that than mud. Got steady blink, which is no call. And you can see the tape is already on the door switch. So I didn't do it. And he says the blower doesn't come on, so let's take a look at that. There's the R. And the G. Alright, so that blower works. So maybe he's talking about the induced draft. So let's jump out W and R. And she ain't running. Okay. So I'm going to pull this thing off right quick. And check it out. Probably needs the motor. It's probably fried, so to say. But there has been occasions where we freed it up, or I've even found the occasional squirrel inside of them. Well, there's no squirrel in it, and it's not locked up. A little bit stiff. Yeah, so it may start now, but we're definitely still going to replace it. But we'll try it. There she goes. Sounds terrible. Definitely need to replace it. But it'll probably work long enough for us to stick it back on here and fire the furnace up and see that everything else is okay. Boy, she sounds bad. So this thing pulls off and on really quick, and that's the only reason I even bothered putting it back on, because I don't have that with me. And the lady stated she was pretty cold, so it's cold in the house. So I'm going to try to let this thing run at least one cycle while I go after this motor. So let's see if she'll fire up. I don't really want it to fire up with this door off, but I'm going to watch it long enough to see if it does. There comes the igniter. Boy, that sounds terrible. Yep, and there's the flame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the doors back on it and go in the house and hope that it fires up one more time and let it heat the place up while I get one of these motors. We have them, I just don't happen to have one in my van. Train doesn't make it easy to read or get to that sticker right there. All right, let's put the door on. Okay. Good enough. We'll go back in the house and turn the thermostat on. I'll watch it fire up, make sure it's running, and then we'll be back shortly to finish this repair. All right, so we're back, and they are in the middle of the heat cycle. And boy, listen to that motor scream. I hate to shut them down, but need to get it fixed. It'll be cold tonight. Boy, that thing's loud. All right, so Connie's off today, so I don't have a parts runner. So what do I do when I need parts and nobody to help? So I was watching the HVAC Overtime show not too long ago. I don't know if you guys watch it. It comes on Friday nights, usually about 9 o'clock, a few minutes after. They're always late. But there's a guy named Bill on there. Some people call him ZZ Top or Cousin It, something like that. Long beard, sunglasses, real deep voice. Anyway, saw a trick Bill did. I'm going to see if I can do some bill magic to get my part I need here. Didn't work. Let's try again. Wonder if I'm supposed to say anything, whatever. Let's try again. Well, there it is. All right. It's a little bit different from this one, but Bill taught me a good trick there. So this one's brand new. So let's get that one off and get this one on. These usually come right out. Here we go. Ground wire off. One. That one's kind of hidden up in there. Two. Three. All right. Samsonite. Not sure where I got that from, but I thought Samsonite made luggage. Well, these 8-in-1s really have good magnets on them. Look at that. That's a big old long screw. held in there. Okay. Oops, got one more wire to hook up. I was looking at this furnace and looking at these hoses, and I think I just noticed something out of place here. Now, back in the old days, these furnaces were upflow left discharge and downflow right discharge. You see that TUC? That's train upflow concentric, or train upflow something. C model. Regardless, I don't think the upflow model was compatible with right discharge, and this is right discharge. There's the coil on the right side there. And the thing that brought my attention to it was this secondary heat exchanger drain hose is up top going into the collector box, and there's not one on the bottom. So that pretty much tells me, see, there's the hole for when this is mounted in here. It's an upflow, and back in these days, the old T model furnaces were upflow left and downflow right. So this is a left discharge furnace that has been operating in the right discharge configuration for all of its life. Let's see. The date's not on those. Here we go. (2013). So for 7 years this thing has not drained properly. So I'm just wondering how this thing gets the water out of it and what keeps it from backing up and causing a problem. I'll tell you what, that doesn't look good. So let's see what happens when it fires back up. It's probably satisfied in the house now. But I'll tell you what, that right there is not draining any water out. And this really couldn't, I mean, I see no way for the water to get out other than seeping out of that. There's no drain in the bottom of the the flue motor. So there's that one for the left discharge. Then you have this and that. Those are the two things draining when it's in its left configuration, which is correct. And tell you what, I don't know how I can possibly break it to a customer that this is the wrong furnace and it's worked fine for 7 years. According to them, I mean, from their perspective, it's worked fine for 7 years, but I just don't know how the water gets out of it. I really don't. And there's no T there with a drain. So this really looks bad. Sure does. But the flue motor's quiet. And I don't know why I didn't notice that when I was here and diagnosing it. I mean, that stood out. I mean, it really stood out like a turd in a punch bowl making that noise. So I just didn't pay that much attention. I even looked at the model number. And it's been a few years since these have been gone. Call them legacy furnaces now. It's quiet and back on, but good Lord, I almost hate to tell them, by the way, that's the wrong furnace and it's been installed wrong for all these years. Looks like there would be room to flip it. Now that would put the service side on the back side, and you'd have to go under the duct to get to it. And you're supposed to have the crawl door supposed to be within 20 foot of the furnace, and the service side's supposed to face it. I don't see how they could possibly strictly enforce that code, because a lot of houses are so big and have more than one furnace. I mean, I've never thought much of that code being 20 foot from the door, but that is a code. They're not too bad about it. I hate to put this clamp back on and tighten it. Water's got to have a way out. And there is no way for this secondary heat exchanger to drain itself. That is quite interesting to see that. Alright, you see it. And other than flip this furnace over, I really just don't see one doggone thing we can do about this. I hate this. I hate being in this position, because that's immediately what the customer will say is, well, it's worked fine since 2013, whatever. I mean, it's worked fine until it started making noise. All right, well, let's put the doors on it and wrap this up and go talk to them. All right, well, of course the husband's not at home, and he's the one we need to talk to about that. So, well, I really don't like to see something like that, and nothing I can really do about it. Puts me in a bad spot to have to tell them, hey, this thing's the wrong furnace, or it's installed wrong, or both. And you know, I don't know why it's been working fine for 7 years, 8 years, whatever. This really puts me in a spot I don't like to be in, but thank God for video. I guess they could do some research and find out what I'm telling them is factual. All right, let's go to the next one. Thanks for watching.